Hello folks, the old sergeant here. It looks like we have over 10 simulated explosives sent to various left-wing and socialist political operatives. Apparently, these were made to look like how a bomb would be made in deep Tennessee someplace. Made to look like what these arrogant, condescending leftists think that a conservative, the average American in middle America, would do. Not smart enough to put the proper spelling on things or get the addresses right. And you look inside and the explosive, if there's anything in it that was explosive at all, looks like something that you would see on a television movie, where you got the pipe bomb with a clock. Okay? That's a continuous trope in the movies and on television, where you've got this bomb with the clock counting down and the tension rises. But you don't do that if you're sending it in the mail. You make these things so that they would explode when the package is opened. And that means if you don't know what you're doing, you're probably going to blow yourself up. So it looks like these were intentionally made to look like what the left thinks about those of us in flyover country. Disgusting. If anybody, any American could do such a thing. I know the right wing doesn't do it because that's not what conservatives are. That's not what middle America is about. We don't go with violence in politics. Now, yes, we scream and yell at each other, call each other names. You get senators and congressmen cornered in the aisles by angry citizens yelling at them. When it comes to marches in the streets, we have seen peaceful marches until Antifa shows up and starts committing violence. But the peaceful marches, addressing your government, redressing your government, or the other citizens, make them aware, that's fine. We've been yelling at each other and calling each other names clear back to Jefferson and Adams. You ought to go see what was written in the papers, what they said about each other. Got pretty humorous to each one of them to see what names the other one would come up with. So that's American politics. Yeah, it's a massive verbal exchange. And even when we get really irritated at the media, fine. They call most of the rest of us names, but that's the way it is. They're allowed to. I wish they were fair. I wish they actually reported news and not ignore everything that happened and just be political mouthpieces for one political view. But yes, screaming, yelling, writing things in political discourse is fine, so long as you're not writing something illegal. Now, when it comes to this kind of crap, whether it's sending simulated explosives as a political statement so that the left can take it thinking that it's going to help them in the elections, or if a real person actually did this, which I strongly doubt. We don't do that. That's not the way Americans work. It's not the way conservatives work. We're against violence. The left has always been the ones that's been violent. All the recent shootings, it was a left-wing person that did it. If you go throughout history, you're going to find left-wing people doing the assassinations. It's always the left wing. It's always the left wing calling for violence. And now CNN is out there saying that these people are Trump's targets, trying to throw this back on President Trump again and all his supporters, saying that type of terminology. And when it's found out that this was some left-wing person or group of folks that did this, then it will disappear. They'll be on to some other subject, some other news story, but they'll already have implanted in the minds of Americans that the right wing is as violent as the left wing, as they try to cover up for the violence of Antifa, which has been hurting him pretty badly. So in summary, this is a hoax. The left wing is doing this so that they hope it'll help in elections, and the Democrat leaders can go out there and play victim. And we don't play politics that way in this country. We verbalize and we write, but we do not commit violence. Nobody can call themselves an American if they resort to violence for political purposes. Well, folks, as always, stay vigilant.